If timing were everything, then why did it feel like the universe had completely skipped us? Ava had always thought life moved predictably. Coffee at 7, office by 9, emails and meetings, dinner alone, sleep, repeat. That Thursday morning, though, the rhythm shattered the moment her coffee spilled. Not on her papers, not on her bag, but on him. He had been standing there, drenched in dark roast, looking more shocked than she felt guilty. Ava froze. His shoes, his perfectly tailored coat, even his expression, it all seemed too cinematic for 8:07 a.m. I'm so sorry, she stammered, grabbing napkins as he bent down, muttering something under his breath. You really are in a rush, huh? He asked, finally looking up, and their eyes met. That moment, it was brief, but Ava felt it. A strange tug, like gravity, had shifted just for them. His name was Liam, and they would soon discover that this accidental coffee incident was just the beginning of a story neither of them could ignore. They sat in awkward silence as the barista offered free drinks, but neither Ava nor Liam could take their eyes off each other. The small cafe, usually bustling with the early morning crowd, felt like it existed only for them. Every accidental laugh, every nervous glance, seemed amplified by some unseen force. Ava wanted to apologize again, but words failed her. Liam, on the other hand, smiled faintly and shook his head. It's fine. Really. Coffee happens. Life happens, he said, his voice calm, almost grounding. And just like that, something clicked. A connection neither could explain, an invisible thread tying them together. As Ava walked to work later, she couldn't stop thinking about him. His laugh. The way his eyes crinkled when he smiled. Even the smell of coffee lingering on his coat. It wasn't infatuation. It was curiosity and something deeper, a spark she hadn't felt in years. After that chaotic morning, Ava couldn't stop thinking about Liam. She found herself revisiting the memory of dark eyes staring back at her, the faint cedar vanilla scent lingering in her mind. By the end of the day, she realized she had walked home slower than usual, deliberately tracing the route that led past the cafe where their accident had happened. She didn't expect to see him again, but there he was, leaning against the counter, coffee in hand, looking like he belonged in the golden morning light. You're back, he said with a smirk. I didn't expect you to survive the day without running into me. I just thought I'd apologize properly, she replied, cheeks warming. You already did. Twice. Now let's just sit. They found a small table near the window and ordered a second round. What began as small talk quickly became deeper conversation. Liam shared stories of his work designing spaces that made people feel at home, and Ava spoke of her passion for writing, keeping journals since high school, documenting little moments no one else noticed. I like that you notice the little things, Liam said thoughtfully. Most people rush past them. Ava smiled, realizing she had noticed someone genuinely noticing her in a long time. Days turned into weeks. Their accidental encounters became intentional meetings. Morning coffees, walks through nearby parks, and long conversations that stretched into the evening. They shared playlists, favorite books, even quirky childhood memories. Each discovery, each laugh, felt like a tiny thread weaving them closer together. One evening, Ava hesitated as they parted ways. The sun dipped low, casting the streets in warm gold. She didn't want this day or this feeling to end. You make the city feel different, she said softly, avoiding his gaze. How do I make it feel different? He asked, tilting his head. You make it feel smaller, she admitted. Like I can breathe, like I belong somewhere. Liam's eyes softened. Maybe that's what connection does, he said quietly. Then, looking directly at her, he added, maybe it's just us. Ava walked home feeling lighter, but also scared. She had been careful her whole life, never letting someone get too close, fearing disappointment. Yet something about Liam felt safe and thrilling all at once. Their closeness wasn't just about laughter or shared coffee. It was about trust, subtle attention, and small gestures that said, I see you. The way he remembered her favorite pastry, noticed when she was anxious, or gently encouraged her when self-doubt crept in. A rainy afternoon solidified their connection. Stuck under the awning of a small bookstore, drenched by the sudden storm, Liam offered her his jacket. They laughed at their predicament, and Ava realized she was beginning to fall, not just into infatuation, but something steadier, something that felt like home. "Do you ever think," Liam said, watching raindrops race down the glass, "that maybe the universe isn't about timing at all? Maybe it's about persistence?" Ava looked at him, rain-soaking strands of hair sticking to his forehead, and nodded. "Maybe. Or maybe it's just about not letting go when it matters." They lingered in the rain, shoulders brushing, hearts pounding, feeling the fragile magic of a connection that refused to be ordinary. Life, as Ava and Liam quickly learned, wasn't always built on warm coffees, laughter, or quiet walks in the rain. It had a way of testing even the strongest connections. It started subtly, a missed text here, a delayed response there, but soon, Ava felt a distance that wasn't there before. Liam had become quieter, distracted. She tried to talk to him, but his reassurances were vague, and for the first time, she wondered if her heart had misread the signals all along. One Friday evening, the tension reached a breaking point. They had planned to meet at the cafe, the one where it all began. Ava arrived first, nervously stirring her drink. Minutes passed. Then an hour. Finally, Liam appeared, looking flustered. I'm sorry, he said, avoiding her eyes. "I should have told you sooner, but work, family, it's been a lot. I didn't want to pull you into my chaos." Ava's heart sank. "So that's it? Your chaos?" she asked, trying not to sound hurt. "You can't just let things drift without saying anything. I trusted you." Liam reached for her hand, but she pulled back. "I know, and I messed up. But it's not about drifting. It's about being human, about trying to be better, even when it's hard." The weeks that followed were a period of reflection for both of them. Ava realized that love wasn't just about perfect mornings and laughter. It was about patience, understanding, and forgiveness. Liam realized that hiding fears and burdens only built walls, even with someone who genuinely cared. They learned to communicate more openly. One rainy afternoon, ironically similar to their first intentional moment together, they found themselves sharing fears and regrets on a park bench. "I was scared," Liam admitted. "Scared that I'd fail you, scared that life would pull me away, and scared that I'd hurt you without meaning to." "And I was scared too," Ava replied. "Scared that I'd get too attached, scared of disappointment, scared of trusting someone completely. But I realized it's worth it. You're worth it." That moment, simple yet profound, healed the cracks. It wasn't magic. It was honesty, vulnerability, and the courage to stay despite imperfection. Weeks turned into months, and Ava and Liam grew stronger. Not because life had become easier, but because they faced it together. The coffee spills, the rainy walks, the misunderstandings, they were threads in a tapestry, weaving a story richer than either could have imagined alone. One evening, as the city lights twinkled around them, Liam took Ava's hand and looked into her eyes. "Do you remember our first coffee disaster?" Ava laughed softly. "How could I forget?" "I've been thinking," he said, "that maybe the universe isn't about perfect timing. Maybe it's about persistence. About not letting go when it matters, about choosing each other every day." Ava squeezed his hand. "Then let's choose each other every day." They smiled, knowing life would continue to challenge them, but also knowing they had built something unshakable. Their love wasn't flawless, but it was real, tender, and enduring. They had learned that connection isn't about avoiding storms. It's about weathering them together, with trust, patience, and heart. And as they walked down the quiet, rain-washed streets, hands intertwined, Ava realized that sometimes love doesn't need perfect timing. It just needs two people willing to show up over and over again for each other. The universe, in its own imperfect way, had finally aligned.